the list menu is a comprehensive menu for you to view all of your data for your paddocks. If we click the drop down, this shows that for this farm, we have currently set up the list so that these items here show up in the list by default. And then we can also add these items into the list by checking the box. There's also a number of other items that we can also add into the list, but which are currently set as hidden for this particular farm. So before I open up the list itself, I'm going to show you where you set this up. So the place where you determine what items are by default, available by option, and hidden. So to do that, head to the settings gear icon in the top right of your screen, click user access, and then customize app. So here, this is the full list of every type of data you can have in your list. So go through this and choose which ones you want to have by default, so ones that you want to have available all the time. Available option, these are the ones that are still in that drop down but not automatically checked. So these are things that you may want to have a couple of times a week but not every single time. And then hidden, these are things that for your farm or for this particular time of year you've just got no need for, so you can keep these as hidden. And that just means that the table that comes up when you click the list menu is nice and short. Just note at the very bottom we have all of these elements here. This is so that when you're looking at the list and you set a date range, you can actually view the total amount of an element that has been applied to a paddock for that particular time period. So just have a think about the fertilizations that you typically use on your farm and make sure all of the elements in those fertilizations are checked here, just so you can get a full picture. With that said, we'll go back to the farm dashboard and we'll open up the list menu and we'll just expand it by removing the map. So for this particular farm, this is a demo farm, so there's no data in these cells other than some samples here. For you, all of these cells will be filled up with numbers. As you can see, these items here, these match what we have checked here. If we check one of these, like pasture grown, it will then add itself as a column. So within this list, you can sort. So your paddocks are currently sorted by the code, but if you wish to sort the data by highest to lowest or lowest to highest of any of these particular metrics, just click the heading once. So this is lowest to highest and click it again. That's now highest to lowest. If you have applied tags to your farm, so perhaps you have one part of the farm assigned for one herd and one part of the farm assigned to another herd, or perhaps you have part of your farm irrigated and part of your farm not irrigated, you can use those things to shorten this list to show just the paddocks in the area that you're referencing. So for this case, we may have set up a custom tag for A paddocks, or we may have got some irrigated paddocks, and so maybe we just want to see the data for the center pivot irrigated paddocks. Or perhaps we have herd 1 in the north part of the farm, so we just want to see the data for those paddocks in the north part of the farm. Another useful part of the list is the date range. So we have a couple of presets. You can also put in a custom date range as well. So what this does is it allows you to view data at a paddock level as an average for the time period that you've set. One example might be you want to look at growth rates. So if we set our time range to last 12 months, and then say we want to sort paddocks by highest to lowest, we'll just click this. Yep, it's already highest to lowest. What we would technically be looking at here are your paddocks ranked by highest to lowest average growth rate for the last 12 months, provided that we have 12 months of data. Likewise, that date range is useful when you're looking at the elements of your fertilizations. So what you would be looking at here say we've got last 12 months, we would be looking at the total kilograms of nitrogen applied per hectare on this farm for that period of 12 months. So that gives you a little bit of the usability of the list menu.